Good morning, everyone, and welcome to TurboCharge Your Productivity during the dark winter months. My name is Victoria Leo. I'm a life coach, health coach, career coach. So I've got the coaching silo. You know, some people just want to do coaching, and that's totally fine. For most people, what people are looking for is a comprehensive solution to a particular problem. So for that, I'm also a licensed clinical hypnotherapist. So I use hypnosis guided journeys, and I also use Reiki energy healing as appropriate in my comprehensive programs. And I also use other techniques too. But those are the three, the primary triumvirate that comprise my programs. Now, one of the things that is so fun about this time of the year is that the animals are migrating. I get to watch the Canada geese coming overhead. And the heat and humidity of the summers faded away. And we're starting to enjoy the nice, cool, crisp air of autumn. Some not so fun parts of this time of the year. Like, for example, I have in my healing facility in Southern Oregon, I have 19 mature oak trees. And you know what they like to do this time of the year? The leaves come down and 100 gazillion acorns with them. Now, if I had a lot of tree squirrels that were, would eat the acorns, it wouldn't be so bad. And the deer like acorns, but mostly they like acorns later in the season. So what I do is I have to, 100 gazillion. I don't know, a deer could eat that much. I need every deer in North America in my yard to take care of the acorn problem. So I save some of them for the deer, and I have raking parties. I get my clients come and rake for some free services and swap some services. So this is a wonderful time of the year, and we have holidays to look forward to. I have stress-free holidays. I have various techniques for ensuring that I do not go insane. I do not go bankrupt. I don't spend the rest of the year paying for the gifts that I bought in November and December. So, but that's a subject for another day. Actually, next week. But today, I want to see how many of you look forward with dread to the winter months because of the darkness. And a lot of people, something like 65% of the people who have winter blues, also known as seasonal affective disorder winter variety, you can understand why we call it winter blues, sad W, 65% of the people with this problem don't know what's causing it, right? And, raise your hand, me too, if you've got a problem with winter. Now, for some people, it's relatively mild. There's that winter sluggishness, and you gain weight, right? And you say to yourself every year, this is my fault. I am a lazy, sluggish so-and-so. It's all my fault. This is about me. And if you allow yourself to listen to the feedback from others around you, you'll get that same message. This is a character flaw, that all you have to do is think positively, refuse to allow a negative thought to enter your head, and you can instantly banish depression. There are people in this world who are so ignorant and so uncompassionate. They don't understand, they don't care to read the literature that conclusively proves that depression is a disease. You have a biochemical thing going on in your brain and in the rest of your body that's caused by a gene. When the light levels drop, there's a particular gene that goes, whoopee, time to turn on. And other things that go, uh-oh, time to turn off. The net result is your brain isn't getting enough serotonin, the happy chemical. And you can think positively on your little mountaintop until the cows come home in the spring. It's not going to change. All you're doing to yourself or to other people, if you're being abusive to them with these ideas, is making people be ashamed of themselves for things that are not under their control. The way to wisdom, the way to peace of mind, is to only try to control the things that you can control and let go of other things. Some people turn outcomes over to a higher power. Other people simply say the universe created this problem. The universe can fix it, by golly. Whatever your explanatory framework is, that's fine. Just make sure you're not confusing yourself with God and believing that you can change the weather, you can change your DNA. Because if I could change my DNA, believe me, I'd be 6 foot tall and gorgeous, So, but this is the DNA that my parents' egg and sperm gave me, and I have to deal with it. And one of the things that I have to deal with, and I imagine you have to deal with if you're watching this, is either you or someone that you care about has a DNA glitch. So short of gene therapy, what can we do for ourselves? This is a real problem. If you've got a job in this hyper-competitive job market, you can't afford to have your energy go to the dogs. I've got former clients who've I've been able to fix up, who are real estate agents. Real estate agent can't take 4 months out of the year off, because they can't get out of bed, or they're dragging. You need, if you're gonna be in sales, you're gonna be in marketing, you need to be, energetic and excited and up. So what do people do? Unfortunately, way too many people with this problem, which could end up being you, right? Way too many people with this problem do the lazy American thing, which is go to my doctor and say, give me a pill, make this go away. I have to support my family. I cannot, live with this for 4 months while the skies are dark. And please note, everybody who lives north of somewhere between San Francisco and Los Angeles, any place north of Raleigh, actually Charleston, South Carolina, any place north of Vicksburg, Mississippi, which is like most of the country and all of Canada, we're just not getting enough light. And please do not conflate winter depression with your skin needs to get light to come onto your skin to produce vitamin D. Totally different topic, different biochemistry, although it is slightly related. The light that you need is light that's coming into your eyes. What happens is light goes into your eyes it travels along the optic nerve to a particular part of your brain, which signals the fact that it's autumn and this gene turns on, and depression sets in. What's happening to you is a biochemical process. So the way to transform your life to get rid of this problem is you need a biochemical solution. So what do people do? They run to their doctor and say, give me an antidepressant. Give me a pill. I'll just pop a pill. This is why you don't want to do that in no particular order. There are more effective ways of doing this, dealing with this, that don't have any side effects. That's item number 2. Antidepressants. If you have serious, really serious, can't get out of bed, considering suicide, clinical depression, antidepressants are a lifesaver. You've got a major problem year round. Do you have a major problem year round? No, you don't. You've got a seasonal problem. The genes turn on and turn off based on light level. You don't want to have a year-round, serious, big, lots of side effects solution to a seasonal problem. So take a deep breath. Consider these alternatives. If you're on antidepressants, talk to your doctor about doing these other things. Instead, bear in mind the guy or gal, when they were in medical school, the only options were take a pill. So you may get some pushback. Be prepared to fight about it, because you do not need year-round solution to a seasonal problem. You don't. Lots of articles in the Journal of the American Medical Association and other reputable medical journals conclusively prove you do not need year-round antidepressants. These solutions will work. I'm not Joe Blow nobody. I've got a master's degree in biology. I almost have a PhD. I've got a second master's in psychology. And I have thoroughly researched in medical journals, how these things work. One of the things I'm going to talk to you about is light therapy, which, by the way, is good for year-round depression also. All right? So we know what the problem is. It's a biochemical problem, genetic, caused by a lack of light getting into my eyes. Right? So one thing to keep in mind is don't stay indoors all day long during this time of the year. And again, you can bundle up like an Inuit, right? Put your anorak on, your earmuffs, etc. Doesn't matter, because it's not your skin that's the problem. It's your eyes, right? Spend at least 10 minutes a day in the sunshine, if there is any. Now, my primary home is in the Seattle area, God help me, where in a normal year, the clouds roll in and you get, tiny little sun breaks for the next 8 months nonstop. I wish I were kidding. The Seattle Chamber of Commerce will say, oh, we don't have that much rain. Yeah, because most of what's happening during this 8 months is drizzle, the kind of stuff that the rain meters can't measure. Okay. And even if it's just dark and gloomy and no actual rain falls, you're going to be dark and gloomy too. So God bless the Chamber of Commerce. They can't get away from the how many days in the year is the sky cloudy. They can't lie about that. So I am susceptible to this problem. I need to move to Hawaii and build a business there. Someplace in the tropics, and I wouldn't have to do any of these techniques. But sadly, that's not an option. So here are some excellent solutions. All right. I wrote a book called Journey Out of Sad, Beat the Seasonal Blues Now. My last name is 3 letters long. You can't forget it. Leo, Victoria C. You can find me on Facebook, on Pinterest. My company is soaringdragon.biz, B-I-Z, soaringdragon.biz. And on all these social media sites, if you look under Soaring Dragon or you look under my name, you'll find me. Anyway, this book is a great way to go step by step through all the steps. It's not complicated. It's really not. This when you realize how easy it is to fix this problem, you're going to say, "Oh my God!" And I was suffering through this for years and years. Why did I do that? Well, ignorance. There's a million things I'm ignorant about. Anyway, that's why YouTube exists, right? That's why we have friends, and that's why we have books. God bless the fact that we're living in such a wonderful time with all this information out there. Now, unfortunately, there's also a heck of a lot of misinformation. I'm strictly science-based. Either it's been proven to work or it hasn't. And if it hasn't, I may test it out, but I'm not going to promote it to other people unless I'm absolutely sure it works. This stuff, I'm absolutely sure it works. Okay, so start with making sure you've got your basics on the nutrition front. You need an adequate amount of calcium and magnesium, and you need an adequate amount of vitamin D, because calcium won't be absorbed in your intestines unless it's accompanied by magnesium and vitamin D. Now, that's where we get to the skin part, right? Yeah. Vitamin D is a really fun molecule. Most vitamins are catalysts of some kind of biochemical process inside your body. That's why you need them. Vitamins are usually catalysts. Vitamin D comes from a precursor molecule called cholesterol D. Cholesterol, we're all, terrified. Oh my God, I got to lower. And you do. You have to lower cholesterol in the food that you eat. You need lots of HDLs and as few as possible LDLs. But cholesterol itself is not an evil molecule. Every cell in your body, the cell walls, are made from a cholesterol derivative. Okay, vitamin D comes from cholesterol D, and your sex hormones, all the steroid hormones, come from derivatives of cholesterol. So estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. I need all 3 of those. My adrenals are producing testosterone, and the sex organs are producing my female hormones. So, and they all come from cholesterol. Anyway, cholesterol D, if you live in a place that has adequate sunlight year round, and it's not freezing cold, it's not, northern Minnesota, so, bundled up to the max. If your skin is exposed to the sun, the cholesterol D that's in the deep layer that has the blood supply, it absorbs the ionizing radiation, and it converts into another molecule, which then goes to, I think it's the lungs for the final transformation into vitamin D. Okay, so most of us, unless you're living in a really, really south, or you live or close away, or you're not living in the U.S. Or Canada or Northern Europe, if you're living in Southern Italy, North Africa, and you're getting enough sun year round, right? you're going to need to make sure that you're ingesting it. Now, too much dairy isn't good for too much dairy products isn't good for your health. So you're not going to be able to just, gorge yourself on cheese or something and solve this problem. You need a nice vitamin D supplement. And I am not licensed to dispense medical information, and doctors don't dispense medical information in public usually. Dr. Oz and folks like that being the exception. Most people, and even then, even doctors who are doing this in public will say, talk to your own personal doctor because everybody's body is different. So I'm going to say some general things, but I am not prescribing or diagnosing or being your doctor. Okay. You need adequate amounts of calcium. Usually that means somewhere between 1,200 and 1,800 units. And then there's get something that's got calcium. Calcium caltrate, I think, is the most absorbent, according to the data I've seen in my doctor. I found some really good studies. Make sure it's got magnesium with it. And then vitamin D, interestingly, you can go get yourself tested and see what your vitamin D levels, serum levels are. A lot of doctors are saying 10,000 units a day through the winter, through the dark days, is not excessive. You have to be careful with vitamin D, vitamin A, the fat-soluble vitamins, that you don't overdose, okay? So, but at least 5,000, most doctors will say, oh my God, 5,000 is super safe. So go ahead and talk to your medical practitioner about that. And if you think you have SAD, say, I might need a little extra, doc, because I've got SAD. So make sure you've got adequate nutrition. And make sure that you're doing the stuff that you know you're supposed to do, which is eat healthy. Salad is hard during the winter. Your body craves warm food. So have soup, the non-creamy soups. Cook it from scratch. Make a whole big batch of it. Cook on some. I've got a cookbook. I don't have a copy of it here, called 101 Healthy Meals in 5 Minutes or Less. And one of the things I say is, spend Sunday afternoon, just throw a whole bunch of these 5-minute meals into the oven, cook them up, make simmer some soup, make some soups from scratch with broth and a whole bunch of vegetables and some protein. Small amounts of protein, lots of vegetables. Cook it up and then store it in the fridge, and then heat it up, right? To make sure that you're simultaneously not spending a lot of time cooking, but eating healthy. My cookbook is only $5.95 in paper, and it's 99 cents. In ebook form. So, and every single one of these recipes you can do in 5 minutes or less of prep time. I swear to you. Okay. The next thing after, make sure you got the minerals, make sure you're eating healthy, is make sure you're moving. Yeah, I know, exercise, you don't want to hear about it, but 30 minutes of aerobic exercise or strength training every day by itself produces endorphins, produces dopamine, produces serotonin, makes you happy. You're not necessarily happy while you're doing it, but you're happy after you do it. And for hours and hours and hours after. Okay? Exercise raises your metabolic rate. So it helps burn off your calories, whatever you ate. And do please stay away from the holiday stuff. I know. You want to celebrate, right? We want to reward ourselves with food. That's a whole nother class. But You know you're going to regret it. And if you can't eat just one, then stay away from them. Don't smell them. Don't listen to them. You know, tell people you've got a medical problem and you really need to stay away from. So get it off your desk and don't wave it under my nose and that kind of stuff. Enlist people's help. And if they won't help, then just stay away from them. So, anyway, there's lots of activities you can engage in, especially during the winter. Make snow angels and take walks in the snow and that kind of stuff. In Seattle, we don't get anything as interesting as snow. We just get lots and lots of garbage stuff. So, but Southern Oregon, snow, yay! Okay, so those are the basics, right? You're supposed to be doing that anyway. You know that. So start there. Second thing to do is to get yourself a therapeutic level 10,000 lumens. Memorize that phrase, 10,000 lumens. I have an Apollo blue light. This is what it looks like. This is what the inside looks like. Okay, you're not going to stare directly into it. I'm here on my desk, and I have it off on the side. So it's gonna be something that is going to hit my eyes without me staring directly into it. I also have another unit that's half the size, different company. Okay, about half the size. You can get them practically anywhere that you can buy, small appliances. You can buy one on Amazon for $40. Okay, use it for as long as you need to start feeling like yourself again. Okay. This time of the year, it's October now when I'm recording this. This time of the year, half an hour in the morning, and I'm fine. Try to do this blue light stuff in the morning. If you rev up your metabolism in the afternoon, you may be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 2 o'clock in the morning, which you don't really want. It's kind of like caffeine. You want to do that early in the day before noon. Okay? If you absolutely positively can't, you can't. But I've got a client who plugs in his little blue light. He's a construction, what's that called? He's a licensed contractor. Okay. So he's in his truck a lot, and what he does is he plugs it into his power supply in the car, and he has the blue light while he's writing up orders, while he's giving instructions to his crew. The light has to come at an angle so you can see it. It's getting into your eyes, but it's not right in front of you. It's going to be off at an angle. Okay. I have an office situation, so I just put it on the desk. When I'm on a client site, I'm in a cubicle with everybody else, it's there. I've gone to meetings, I've sat in classes. As long as you're not, you don't have the light in somebody else's eyes. I mean, they're not lasers. It's not going to make you go blind. You cannot go blind from this thing. I mean, if you stare right at it, you'll see a false color image for 30 seconds or so, but it's not going to kill you. It could damage your vision if you do it for, if you're staring right at it for hours and hours, but, and everybody has told you not to do that. So you're not going to do that, I'm sure. Okay. So, the blue light is going to be the biggest bang, right? The fastest, most powerful way to get the chemicals going in your brain and the rest of your body, to compensate for the fact that you've got faulty genetics, right? The blue light. Now, I just said October. I've got a pretty severe case. I do half an hour this time of the year because there's still plenty of light out there. The clouds haven't rolled in. However, the rest of my family, and when I'm up in my Seattle office, they've got continuous gray skies right now. They are using their blue light an hour or more a day. In the depths of winter, when I haven't seen the sun for months, and if I don't get out of town, I won't see it again. I can have that blue light on for 4 hours a day. Whatever you need. Give it to yourself. Okay? Find ways, right? If the obvious way you're worried about your success at work, if somebody says, "What's that?" you can say, "It's a productivity enhancer." It is a productivity enhancer. I'm revving up my, I'm turbocharging my productivity, right? That's the name of the seminar. Turbocharging your productivity. You don't have to say, "Well, I've got this disease and it's genetically based, blah, blah, blah." Yeah. Keep your medical information yourself. Even if somebody doesn't have SAD, they may have just feel a slowdown, and you're not diagnosing them, but you can say, "Oh yeah, it only cost $40 and I bought it, and it really, blah blah blah." So, okay. So the blue light, that's not the only thing that you can do. Now, this was supposed to be 30 minutes, and I'm over time. Oops, I'm bad. There are other things that you can do during the dark months. You really need lots and lots of opportunities to get out, be around people, volunteer. And if that's unappealing, everybody's got, if you've got young children in a full-time job. No, I get that. Although there are some volunteer things that the whole family can do together, but there are creative things that especially if you've got kids, but even if you don't, there are adult coloring books with colored pencils. You're not buying crayons. You're not 5 years old. What you're doing is you're waking up the part of your brain that deals with colors and shapes. Make collages, make three-dimensional things by modeling clay and create things. Now you're gonna feel foolish. You get this little voice in your brain that's gonna say, the first time you do this. So 2 alternatives. Either keep doing it and talk back to that voice, right? I'm doing that. This is for my health. This is for my health. This is for my health. Mantra fashion, okay? The other thing is call me up and we'll do some powerful hypnotherapy guided journey to get to that voice, to turn it off. You don't have to have voices in your head. That's what hypnotherapy is so wonderful about. I work with people and I turn those voices off. You don't have to let your parents or your first grade teacher, whoever it was, who told you whatever they told you. Okay? My book, Take Back Your Lost Heart. Take Back Your Lost Heart. It's a toolkit for living with courage and caring in the turbulent 21st century. This book is a toolkit. And one of the big things that it's got is, how do you stave off depression? How do you change how you think? How do you bring joy to your life? And there's a whole bunch of stuff, bunch of tools in there. The SAD book has an entire chapter devoted to ways to using creativity, right? Bring creativity into your life, because what that does when you're engaged in a creative thing, Watching television doesn't count. You have got to be creating, right? For some people, it's woodworking, right? But there's a lot of precision in that. You also want things that are free form, and you want things that involve color. So in addition to giving yourself permission to work in your shop, give yourself permission. Real men do art, right? You know, Picasso, you've heard of him? Okay. So don't tell yourself you can't do it, right? I bought a set of watercolors, cheap watercolors for $5, and some watercolor paper for another $5, and I'm in bliss. You know, on the another $5 worth of some brushes. This is my native language, and and go to town. Okay, so you've got 3 books to go out and buy. You've got me to call. That's your homework assignment. I wish you all a very, very happy and healthy winter as you turbocharge your productivity during the dark winter months. My name is Victoria C. Leo, and my company is Blazing Saddles. No, SoaringDragon.biz. SoaringDragon.biz. I look forward to your emails, your calls, and I'll see you here again in cyberspace.